Hello my colleagues, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, you are absolutely welcome too. Now, if you have ever wondered where smart money is going in the Nigerian stock market, this video is for you. Today we are taking a look at 3 Nigerian stocks that insiders, people who know the business from the inside, are quietly buying more of, and we are going to break down why they might be buying, what it could mean for the stock price, and whether you should be paying attention to. Because insider buying isn't random. It often signals deep confidence in a company's future and sometimes the start of a major move. And trust me, one of these peaks might actually surprise you. So you want to stick around to the end of the video. Quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before investing in any stock, especially the ones I mention or recommend. Now, if you like to stay updated in real time with what I am researching, what I am buying, or what I am watching in the market, I share those updates first on my WhatsApp channel. You'll find the link in the description and pinned comments. And if you like to book a private one-on-one call with me to build your personal investment or savings game plan, the booking link is also in the description. Please note all calls are paid and slots are limited. Once you have booked, you get my private WhatsApp line for follow-up. All right, if that sounds good, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and without much talk, let's jump right into the video. Let's go. Starting off the video, the first company we have on this list is VFD Group. Now, those of you who may not be so familiar with VFD is a financial service holding company, meaning they don't just do one single thing. Instead, they own and manage a variety of businesses across different areas of finance. We're talking about subsidiaries in banking, asset management, fintech, real estate, and even venture capital. So instead of betting on just one business model, VFD is building what you could call a modern day financial ecosystem, all under one umbrella. Their vision is to be a pan-African alternative financial services powerhouse, and they are gradually making moves in that direction, including setting up structures that serve both retail and institutional clients. Think of them like a quiet giant building in the background. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Insiders have been quietly scooping up millions of shares of VFD Group in recent months. And we are not just talking about any random investors. These are people very close to the business. Let's start with Osnon Capital Limited, which from my own research appears to be linked to the group managing director of VFD, Nonso Opala. It looks like a family office or a proxy entity. They bought a staggering 13.2 million shares in May alone. That's over 211 million naira worth of shares at 16 naira per share. Then we have Billionaire Limited, another significant shareholder who grabbed almost 5.2 million shares across 2 separate deals in May, spending about 79 million naira. And even Ankoria Investment Securities Limited, a VFD subsidiary, was busy accumulating shares, over 5 million units, between late May and early June. It didn't stop there. Fasuba Olalekan, an employee and head of compliance, also bought 10,000 shares. That kind of internal conviction says a lot. Now, yes, there were still insider sales that happened, but the one I took note of is a recorded sale by Ankoria on May the 30th, offloading 1 million shares at 19 naira per share. But that sale looks like a strategic profit-taking move. They had previously bought the shares at 16 naira 81 kobo. From the report I went through, in total, over 23 million shares were bought compared to just 1 million shares that was sold. That's a very strong net buying signal. And in finance, when insiders are buying this aggressively, it usually means one thing: they believe in the future of this company. Now, of course, there may be other insider buys or sales that happen within this period that I didn't cover in this video, but what I've shared with you are the ones that I believe really stand out and tells a compelling story. So what does all this mean? Well, Insiders from major shareholders to subsidiaries and even staff are actively increasing their stake in this company. And while insider buying doesn't guarantee short-term price movement, it does send a powerful message of internal confidence. Now, beyond insider activity, let's quickly now touch on VFD's broader financial picture. You see, the group recently announced a stock split, giving existing shareholders more shares and now reducing the price of their shares. Moves like this indicate that the company is trying to raise capital, either to fund expansion, clean up their balance sheet, or strengthen their financial buffers. And while we are not going deep into VFD's financials in this video, it's worth noting that VFD has been pushing for growth across its core subsidiaries. Their banking and fintech arms in particular have seen some solid traction, and it seems like management is positioning the business for the long game. The next stock I have on my list is Aradel Holdings. Now, for those of you who might be new to Aradel, let me bring you up to speed. Aradel is not your regular upstream oil company. They were formerly known as Niger Delta Exploration and Production, but after a rebrand and some strategic moves, they have now evolved into a fully integrated oil and gas business. So what does that mean? It means Aradel is involved across the entire oil and gas value chain, from exploration and production all the way to refining and distribution. And that's rare for an indigenous Nigerian company. They own and operate Nigeria's first indigenously owned modular refinery, which gives them a strong foothold in the downstream space and helps them capture more value from every barrel of oil that they touch. Their model allows them to generate income from multiple streams: crude oil production, gas processing, refining, and even product marketing. And in a volatile oil price environment like we have had in Nigeria, that level of diversification can be a big advantage. So yeah, Aradel isn't just pumping oil and calling it a day. They are building infrastructure, owning more of the processes, and positioning themselves as a key local player in Nigeria's energy future. Now, let's talk about something that really caught my attention, which is the insider buying at Aradel. Between May and June 2025, there has been a wave of buying activity from people inside the company. And I'm not just talking about one or two directors. This was across the board: engineers, legal counsel, accountants, PR leads, even close family members of insiders were getting in on the action. Let me break down a few examples for you. Jonathan Ehil Bahi, an electrical engineer at the company, bought 30,000 shares at 520 naira per share. That's about 15.6 million naira of his own money. Torosimo Limited, which appears to be connected to an employee, snapped up nearly 33,000 shares, spending over 17 million naira. Then there is Dipo Akimbode, Deputy General Counsel. He made two separate purchases, each worth nearly 5 million naira. Even junior and mid-level staffs like an associate engineer, a media and PR lead, and a financial accountant all put skin in the game. And get this, across all the filings I reviewed, there are no insider sales, just consistent buying from people who know this company inside out. Now, does this mean the stock will moon tomorrow? Of course not. But in the world of investing, insider buying is often seen as a strong vote of confidence. These aren't analysts or outsiders. They are insiders, and they are not just talking. They are putting real money behind their conviction. That should tell you something. And just to be transparent, there may be other insider transactions that weren't included in what I reviewed, but what is clear is this: the trend is bullish and the participation is wide. People across departments are betting on Aradel. Now, before we move on, let me quickly touch on their financials and recent moves. I'm not going to dive deep into the numbers here, but I want you to have proper context. From 2021 to 2024, Aradel's financials have been nothing short of impressive. Revenue jumped from just 51.6 billion naira in 2021 to a whopping 581.2 billion naira in 2024. That's a massive 162% leap from the previous year alone. Profit after tax up from 53.7 billion naira in 2023 to 259.1 billion naira in 2024. over 380% growth. Their cash flow remains strong, and while Q1 2025 saw a slight dip, it was tied to strategic investment and not weakness. They also reduced their debt to equity ratio from 16% to 7% over 2 years, showing strength in capital structure. And to crown it all, they have maintained 18 years of dividend payments, and that shows consistency, with 2024 seeing a 13 naira dividend per share that was paid. Financially, Aradel looks very strong, liquid, and well positioned for the future. Now, let's move on to the next stock on our list, Zenith Bank. Now, as most of you already know, Zenith is not just any bank. This is one of the most capitalized, profitable, and systematically important financial institutions in Nigeria. They have been around since the 1990s and have built a reputation for strong governance, risk management, and consistent performance. From retail banking to corporate finance and digital banking services, Zenith plays across multiple verticals, and they do it at scale. They are usually one of the first to reflect if there is an economic issue in Nigeria with their performance. So when insiders at Zenith start making moves, it's worth paying attention to. Now, here's what caught my eye recently. In June 2025, Zenith Bank's Group Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Adora Omeji, made a bold move. She bought a total of 68.75 million shares of the bank. That's not a typo. That's actually very correct. She acquired 10 million shares at 47.90 naira and another 58.7 million shares at 48 naira, spending roughly 3.3 billion naira of her own money. And this didn't happen during a bull run. This came right after the central bank announced a dividend freeze and regulatory forbearance that sent shockwaves through the banking sector and tanked some banking stocks. So now, why does this actually matter? You see, because while many investors were panicking and selling, the CEO stepped in and bought aggressively at a time of uncertainty. That's not just a show of confidence, it's a direct message to the market. We are still strong. On the flip side, Quantum Zenith Securities and Investment Limited, a related party, sold a combined 1.2 million shares around the same time for about 54 million naira. But when you compare that to the CEO's purchase, it's almost negligible. She bought more than 50 times that volume and at a higher price. So yes, there may be other transactions that I haven't seen, but this one actually stood out to me because in investing, timing matters. And when the CEO is buying heavily in the middle of regulatory uncertainty, it sends a very clear signal. She believes the market is underestimating the bank's long-term strength. Now, let's zoom out for some quick context. Zenith isn't immune to the new CBN's rule. In fact, they have one of the largest exposures to stage 2 loans, about 910 million US dollars worth of loans. These are loans that haven't defaulted yet, but show signs of stress and requires the bank to start setting aside provisions. That kind of provisioning can actually squeeze into profits. With the CBN ending the forbearance policy, Zenith's non-performing loan NPL ratio is projected to climb from 4.6% to 6.7%, which is above the regulatory red line of 5%. And to make matters more complex, banks under forbearance can't pay dividends, a huge blow for retail investors and even institutional investors who have long depended on Zenith's consistent dividend payout. For more insight into the forbearance issue, you can click on the card above to go watch my detailed breakdown. But here's the twist. Even with all this, Zenith is actually one of the strongest positioned banks in the country. Why? Because they have already built strong buffers. Their capital adequacy ratio is solid, their provisioning is ahead of the curve, and their risk management remains one of the best in the sector compared to their peers like FBN or UBA, who may have to dig deeper or even raise capital. Zenith and GTCO are seen as far as more strong companies to handle this forbearance policy by the CBN. So the CEO's multi-billion naira share purchase wasn't just symbolic, it was a move grounded in confidence, backed by actual numbers. And that's a wrap on today's video. As you have just seen, insider activity can give us some powerful clues about where confidence is flowing in the Nigerian stock market. Whether it's VFD Group, Aradel Holdings, or Zenith Bank, the key is not just to follow the hype, but to follow the signals. If you found this video valuable, do me a quick favor by smashing that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please don't forget to also share this video with someone or any community that you belong to. That's the best way to support the channel and make sure more people get exposed to quality investing content like this. Also, don't forget to check the description for my WhatsApp channel where I share real-time updates on what I'm researching, buying, or watching, and for my one-on-one private call link if you need help in building your portfolio or doing a review and all that beautiful stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have made it to this point, I deeply appreciate you. Until the next one, my colleagues, they will.